Gemini, Cancer, Cuspers, what if the love you've been waiting for isn't being blocked by other people? But by the way, maybe you've learned how to receive it. Like today's spirit is bringing forth here how you currently accept love and what needs healing, and how can you open up your heart to the kind of love that truly nourishes your soul. So let's have a look at your first card. How are you currently accepting love? How do you currently accept love? Well, we do have the Ace of Wands here. So I feel like many of the Gemini, Cancer, Cuspers is the first thing Spirit is showing here is that you accept love with excitement, passion, and hope. All right. Always remember to take what resonates and leave the rest. Today something will resonate and tomorrow it won't, or a part of the message might just resonate while the other part might not resonate. So when someone catches your attention, your heart lights up quickly. There's this beautiful spark inside of you that generally wants to believe in the possibilities. You often enter connections wanting growth, adventure, and emotional chemistry. And the Ace of Wands talks about that you don't have to struggle to feel love. You struggle to sustain trust after the initial spark. You often welcome love when it feels exciting, inspiring, or full of potential. You are attracted to the energy that feels alive. But sometimes the intensity of the beginning can become more important than the steady building of a relationship. And so what Spirit is showing here, that your heart is naturally open, but it can sometimes become more attached to the potential instead of the reality. You see what something could become. You see who someone could become. And a part of that is you sometimes pour energy into a future version of a connection instead of seeing what's happening inside the present moment. Like your heart is not closed, it is hopeful, and that hope is actually quite beautiful. Now, how can you improve the way you receive love? Now, interesting enough, we have the Seven of Wands, which is quite powerful actually, because it challenges the common misconception, right? It isn't asking you to build higher walls. It's actually asking you to build healthier boundaries. And there's a difference, right, between healthier boundaries and higher walls. So I feel like many of you have maybe experienced situations where giving too much felt necessary to keep the love. Maybe you may have learned to over-explain yourself, over-give, over-compromise, prove your worth. And what Spirit is saying here, love was never meant to be earned through the exhaustion, right? You improve the way you receive love by protecting your energy, by understanding that boundaries don't push healthy love away, right? They reveal who is capable of respecting your heart. And just, the right people won't be intimidated, I'm hearing, by your standards. They just won't, okay? And that's a fact, that people won't be intimidated by your standards. The right people will appreciate them. Now, looking here at the kind of love that you attract, while interesting, fascinating, we have the Hangman, that you often attract relationships that arrive to change your perspective. Many of the people who maybe entered your life became catalysts, right? Teachers, mirrors, soul contracts. They showed you the things about yourself that you couldn't see before. Sometimes these connections feel delayed, confusing, unconventional, because they are actually designed to slow you down long enough for deeper lessons to emerge, right? So what Spirit is saying here, that maybe many of you, your most important relationships have actually arrived during periods when you were being asked to surrender control. So the Hangman does ask, and the Hangman attracts transformational love, all right? That's what it's bringing through. Love that asks you to grow, love that challenges old patterns, love that changes the way you see yourself. Lessons is like learning that growth doesn't always have to come through the struggle, right? You can attract peaceful love as well. Now, how can you change your vibration to attract more positive relationships? Well, interesting again that we have the King of Wands, because this is an empowerment card, right? Spirit says, stop waiting for love to validate your worth. Become the energy you're hoping to receive. The King of Wands is somebody that is confident, self-assured, passionate, and purposeful. So this card says, know who you are, know what you deserve, know where you are going. The more connected you become to your own purpose, your own passions, and your own confidence, the more you naturally attract relationships that match your vibration. Healthy love doesn't always arrive to complete you. It arrives to complement the person the person that you already became, or the person you've already become. When you fully stand within your power, you stop attracting people who need to borrow your light, right? You begin attracting people who bring their own light. The baggage that you carry surrounding love, well, we do have the Five of Swords, which can deeply be connected to old wounds. Spirit is showing memories regarding misunderstanding, betrayals, disappointment, arguments, manipulation, situations where nobody really actually won. So this Five of Swords obviously often appears when the heart is still carrying stories from the past. Stories like, what if I get hurt again? What if I trust the wrong person? What if I trust them again and they hurt me again? What if the history repeats itself, And the challenge is that the old pain can quietly become the filter through which we view new connections or the current connection. Not everyone is the person who hurt you. Sometimes people also change. Not every ending predicts the next beginning. What Spirit is saying here is there's still healing happening around trust. Not trust in others, but trusting actually in yourself. Trusting that you will recognize what is healthy and what is not. Trusting that you can walk away if something isn't aligned. Trusting your own wisdom. How can you release this baggage, right, and move on? Well, we do have the Eight of Cups, and that is the breakthrough. Because the Eight of Cups asks you to stop carrying what your soul has already actually outgrown, right? Some of you are actually being called to release the old heartbreak, releasing the old expectations. Some are maybe releasing the fantasy of how a relationship should have been or should have worked out, how it should have actually worked out. And what Spirit is saying, that healing doesn't always happen when you get the answers. Sometimes healing happens when you stop needing them, right? It's a sacred choice. Choosing yourself, choosing peace, choosing the emotional freedom, choosing the future over the past. And the moment that you stop looking backwards, your path forward becomes more visible. Now, at the bottom of the deck is a page of Wheels, which I do feel this is beautiful confirmation. The reason I'm saying that, because it talks about a new chapter that is beginning. A healthy approach to love, more grounded foundation, a relationship even maybe with yourself that becomes stronger and more secure, And what Spirit is saying is that you are learning that lasting love isn't built on the intensity alone. It's built on the consistency, the trust, the patience, the mutual effort. Something new is growing here, all right? And I feel like this time it has roots. Gemini, Cancer, Cuspers, I feel like your message is quite simple today. And the reason why I'm saying is that you do not need to chase love. You do not need to convince someone to choose you. You do not need to carry the old pain into the new beginnings, all right? And, the more you honor your worth, protecting your energy and trusting your own heart, the more naturally aligned love just finds its way to you. The love that's meant for you will never require you to abandon yourself to receive it. Perhaps you can let us know what baggage are you finally ready to leave behind in love, like if you feel like called to share with us. And hey, if this message resonated with you, thank you for liking, commenting, being subscribers here. And until next time, remember to trust your path, trust your heart, and just keep moving towards the love that you deserve. Love and light, beautiful.